So I'm going out today and I am just going to do a quick neutral look with the Morphe. It's the OG Jaclyn Hill palette. As you can see, it is well loved. So I'm going to do something really super simple. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go into the palette, and unfortunately this palette doesn't have any names, but I'm going to go into this really light color right here, which is pretty close to the color of my skin, with this big fluffy brush. Like, you see how big that is? And I'm just going to put this here, and then I'm just going to brush all over my eye. So just making like a nice base for my eye. So I'm just going to brush it all over. Then I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Like, see how light that's going on? And the reason why is because look at how wide and fluffy this brush is, right? So it's just giving like a nice wash of color. I think I'm going to do a little bit more on this side right here. And that's it. Like, it's, you know, when I'm doing this, it's barely touching my skin. And I'm holding it up at the top too, because when you hold things up at the top, it's the lighter the application is, right? Because I'm further away from the base. If I was holding it down here, it would be more of a heavier application. Still not very heavy because this is a really fluffy brush, but definitely more than like what I'm getting right now. Okay, so I'm going to go like that. Then I'm going to go and I want to do like just have like a nice sort of brown bronze look, like right in here, and then lighter around here. So I'm going to take this one. It looks like this. It's thicker and it's like a dome shaped one, and I'm going to go through with a darker color. I think I will pick, let's see, this one. I will pick this color right here, second from the bottom at the very end, and I'm just going to tap that out, and then I'm just going to go above my crease because, you know, I'm hooded, so I've got partially hooded eyes right here, and I'm just going to go like in here, and again, just very lightly. I'm holding the brush right towards the end, so I'm just getting a really light application. Just going to go here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Same color. Second row from the bottom, second one in on the OG palette from Morphe. I'm just going to put this here. And it's just making like a distinct, it's like really, see how thick that line is, right? And it's quite pigmented, even though I'm holding the brush from the end. It's because of how thick and dense the brush is that I'm applying it with, right? So I'm just gonna go here, try and make them approximately the same, because they never want to be. No matter how hard you try, they always want to act up, I call it. Okay, so then I'm gonna go and take like a medium fluff brush like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this down here to show you. So it's got a little bit of fluff to it, but not a lot. There's some powder on there from before. Oh. And then I'm just going to go over here. I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. Blend it out a little bit to the top. And down here to the bottom as well. And just take your time blending. You know, just look at it and see, wait until it's the way that you want it to be. And it's everywhere. I see there's a little space right here, so I'm just gonna see right here, there's like a little space. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I can see it, so I just added a little bit more color right there. And then I'm just going to bring this out to the corner. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to blend it out. And I'm doing it in circles, by the way. I'm not swiping back and forth like this. And the reason that I don't do that is I find that for me personally, it takes way longer because you're brushing away just as much color as you're trying to lay on, and it just takes a little bit longer. So, and then this, I can be a little bit more precise on where I want it to go as well by going in circles. So there. Yeah, I want to do it up a little bit more like that. And just lightly brushing it over. So there. And then I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to thing it out as well. Just throwing it out to the end a little bit, like that. And in case you haven't seen me before, so I have a hand disability, and so it's hard for me to move my wrist over and over, so I keep my hand tucked in by my side. Sometimes I'm actually moving my leg to make my arms move. And oftentimes, as you see right now, I'm using my head as well to get the same effect as like you moving your wrist over and over again, which I can't do because it really hurts. So that's that. And then I'm going just to line the top here, holding it on the side. So I'm not holding it like this. I'm holding it like on the side to just get the edges off the top right here, and just going super light. And then I'm going to do the same over on this side as well. This side to me always blends so much better than this side. Drives me nuts. It's like if I could get this side to do what this side does, you know, without even half the effort, I would really, really appreciate that. But you know, life doesn't work that way, right? Okay. So, gonna go here. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to get an angled brush, one that looks like this, that you would do like your eyebrows with or whatever. And I'm going to go into a really dark brown color. So I'm going to go into this color right here. And this is the second one on the first row here. So I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to put this against the lash of my eye. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to put it, stamp it against the lash line of my eye down here. And then just do a little flick right here on the side, nothing major. See how I just went like this? And I just flicked it right here. If you have folds that really go down here, instead of going a little bit up like I did, you could just go straight across, okay? Because I know they're always like, oh, flick, flick, flick. But if you have like the type of hooded eyes where it really comes down at the end, you know, and then if you're older like me and you have like, you know, fine lines there, that is not the best look, okay? So yeah, you can always just do it straight out. So I'm going to tap that color again, and then I'm going to do it on this side. So I'm going down, chin slightly up, and then I'm just stamping. So I'm not going like this, I'm actually like stamping it in to my lash line. Like that. And I don't always, but what I try to do when I go to the corner is I try to open up my eye a little bit. And what that does, I find, is that it stops the transfer. You know, sometimes when you go into the corner and you'll try to put eyeliner and it will transfer like right down to this part. So see how it hasn't done that? And that's because when I get to the end, I just slightly, you know, like I'm like this, and then I just slightly open my eye so that when I do the corner, it doesn't go there. And then I'm just going to do, again, a little flick here and then come on back. Okay. And I'm going to make that a little bit more pronounced. We don't want it to be too much because we're not going wing-a-ding-ding, you know, on this one, right? So like that. Actually make that a little bit darker too. And then right here, okay. And then I'm gonna go back with this brush and I'm just gonna lightly pat that in. Because I'm not trying to make a wing, I'm just trying to make a little bit of dark in that corner, and then we're just going to a little bit here, right? Just to add a little bit of dimension to the eye look. See how much of a difference that little bit of darker color makes? Anytime you want to add a little bit of drama or anything like that, I'm going to take a touch of that same color, and then I'm just going to bring it up here. Then I'm going to take a touch of that same color again, pat it on my hand, and bring it towards the inside. Okay, so it's just giving that kind of shape, but not really a liner, if that makes any sense. Okay. Like that. And then I'm going to go in with this one again, which is the one that's slightly fluffy but flat, and I'm going to go into a lighter color. So I'm going to go in this color right here, which is the first one on the first row, and then I'm just going to put it in here. Just pat that. Just put it towards the front of my eye. I'm going to do that again and do it on this side. Just in the top of the lid here. If your eye is more hooded, you're going to put it up more. See, with mine, you can still see it a little bit today. Some days you can't. Really, some days my eyes are just like, they do their own thing. They're more hooded than other times. Sometimes this part comes down more. Sometimes this part comes down here. I don't know what in the world is up with that, but that's what it does. So, okay, and then I'm going to go back to the one I had before, the real big fluffy one like this, and I'm just gonna go like this. And just kind of glide that all together. And on the same side, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, sorry. And if you want to, like I said, if you don't have that much room, you can, lid space, you know, you can always bring it up here too. So I'm going to do that just so you'll see. So if it's not showing on the lid, like mine is today for some reason, which is quite odd, I would just bring it up here. Just bring it up a little bit more. You know, you don't have to follow exactly. You do what is right for your eye as well. If you can't see it, bring it up so that you can, girl. And then I would do the same thing. Just go up. And just go like that. I'm not trying to do too much. Let me just find, if I can find my pen. I might have to cut away. Oh, there it is right there. Would you look at that? That's a rare occurrence, me finding something when I'm exactly when I'm looking for it. And then I'm just going to go and I'm just going to put a liner, not doing anything fancy. We've got this little dark part here that's looking cute, but you know, giving a little bit of drama, not too much, but just something to just really accentuate the eye. I always like to have something a little bit darker on the end because I just think that it just adds a little oomph to the look as opposed to just being, you know, just plain brown. But you know, if you like just that, you know, it looks really nice. I love to see it on other people, but for me, I just always need that little pop of something. So I just put the darker part there, but you don't have to. You could have just left it the way that it was, okay? So I'm just going to put this on here. So again, I'm going to look down, I'm going to go up. I can see the lash line of my eye. Just going to make it a tad darker with the pencil. I'm getting to the end. I'm opening my eye slightly. And there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing here as well. Oops, sorry, I forgot to lift up my chin. Boy, does that make a difference. And then I'm just going to go like this, and ta-da, I am done. And I'm just going to go put on the rest of my face, and I'll be back if you would like to see it. So I'm going to finish the rest of my face now. I've got my sticky e.l.f. primer on, so you can hear it. So it's supposed to grip to everything. My nose and everything is shiny, but I'm just going to take care of that with powder. I'm not going out for too long anyway. So today I am using the Do You foundation from Too Faced Cosmetics, and it is, I'm going to take one squirt of that. It is in the color Mocha. I am always some sort of coffee. Whenever I get foundation from anywhere, I am a latte, a caramel latte, some sort of coffee flavor is always my color. So just gonna put this on here. This is actually a nice foundation. I always forget that I have it because I have so many, because like everybody, I'm always on the lookout for the perfect foundation shade, and you never seem to find it, or you have one and then you see another one and you think that one will be better, so you get another one. Or maybe that's just me, I don't know, but anyway, this was a nice one, and I like the color. Like, that's pretty close, right? You're never gonna get the exact color. You get a good color from some foundations, but nobody's face is one flat color, so there's always going to be some kind of discrepancy in the foundation that you're wearing. Let me just move my your face is like not the same color everywhere. It's just not. That's just not how skin works, right? So you get as close as you can, and then go from there. So I'm just gonna, oh, my hand is hurting. So I'm just going around here. I try not to go underneath my eye because I don't want like a whole bunch of product there, because I'm older and I have like fine lines and wrinkles there, and I don't want to accentuate them in any way. And the more product you have there, the more stuff can get like inside the wrinkles, do you know what I mean, and make them more visible. So I don't want that, so that's why I don't do that. I'm just letting that sit for a couple seconds, and then I have like these darkened areas right here. Been there forever. I don't think they're going away anytime soon, so I usually just pat on a little more. I don't know if it really makes a difference. It makes me feel better, so get around my nose here, and then I'm going to do this little part right here too, which I always think needs a little extra. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to put some concealer on after that. I always leave this area, like I said, untouched. I don't want foundation and then concealer and then powder, because that's just way too much stuff that can get into my lines and make them look worse. So even the concealer, I always put it on my hand first. And then I'm just going to take a brush, and then I'm going to tap that onto the brush against my hand, and then I'm going to put it on my face. And then also too, I start where my area is darkest, like around here, and then I move on over. I don't go directly under my eye first. Wherever you put something on a brush first is where the most product and or color, if you're doing it on your eyes, is going to be, and I don't want that to be like right underneath my eye. Again, for the same reason, I don't want a thick layer of concealer there. It's just more chances to go underneath my eye and then to go into my wrinkles, and then I go under my eye after that. So the least amount of product is underneath my eye, like right underneath my eye. And truth be told, the darkness that you're seeing is usually this part right here, where you have like the darkness, and if you have bags or anything, that's where it starts from. It's not like actually right underneath your eye. So then I'm gonna, let me smush that in a little bit more, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going just in the corner because I personally have a dark area there, and then I'm going where the darkness is, which is right in here. This line right here is usually where it is, not directly underneath your eye. And then once I do that, then I go up to underneath my eye, because you don't want this vast difference, otherwise it's going to look weird, but you don't want to have like a ton there either, right? Because it's just going to be too much product. Then I'm going to put a little bit on my chin. Just want to lighten up certain areas. I'm just going to use a little bit more because I didn't put enough. I'm not going to do any nose contouring or anything, which I rarely do because I have yet to figure it out for me personally. Contours is one of those personal things that nobody can really teach you how to do it for your face. Like if you go to a makeup artist and they're good at, you know, understanding the concept of light and shadow, obviously they can figure it out and do it for you. But like you watch videos and stuff like that, and it helps you with the concept, but it can't really help you do it for your face because your face is different. So, you know, they're like, oh, do this to your nose or whatever. But even if you have the same type of nose, it's not exactly the same as theirs. So where you want to put the light and shade is different. So I'm getting better, but I still haven't like mastered what I want it to look like anyway. So yeah, kind of too much, I'm sure, again, but you know how I do. So I've done that. And then I'm going to get some powder. This is my Wet n Wild powder that I always use, but I can't seem to find the poof that goes with it. So maybe I'll use this one, I do believe. And I'm gonna go get my Lorella palette as well to do I'm just gonna do like a powder bronzer. It looks really good when you do like a liquid and then you put the powder underneath, but I'm not going for like a big show today, so just doing like your basics. So I'm just pounding my powder off there, and I found my little pink poof, so I'm just gonna put that on and then make sure that it gets all the top of the poof and also at the very point. So you want to make sure that that point has powder as well. Smoosh that in, and I also put that on my hand first, and then I'm just going to go up to my eye and I'm going to start here, and again I'm going over here first, and then I'm going underneath the eye, just lightly patting. So if you can see the difference there, and then I'm going to do that again. Going to pat it in. Make sure it's on the point. Pat it into my hand, and then again, going down here first lightly, and then I'm going up underneath my eye. And I always go like right here, a little bit to the side of my chin, my cheek, because it gets shiny. So where that shine is, you know where the shine goes for you, right? So again, patting it on my hand, doing it on my chin right here. Gonna take my foundation brush and just blend the edges in a little bit of where I put. See how you can see it distinctly, so I'm just blending it in a bit, right? So I don't want to be like this, oh, it's light, and then, you know, my foundation, so I'm just banging some foundation on again, doing the same thing, filling up my brush, patting it on my hand, and then I'm just gonna go and apply it here. And then put it on my nose. this area here. So yeah, so I like this foundation. The only thing I'm not loving is that you can still see like the freckles on my nose. So yeah, grabbing my Lorella palette. It's pretty good for the ones on my face, but like the ones on my nose you can still kind of see, so that's okay. I love freckles on other people. I don't really like them on me, so that's why. And then I wanted to show you something. Let me get this other brush. So I know there's all different kinds of brushes for bronzer or contour. So this is the contour palette from Lorella Cosmetics. Probably know by now because if you watch my videos I like always use it. But I wanted to show you another brush that you can use for contour and ones that I like, which is the fan brush. So there's different kind of brushes for everything. There's different kinds of bronzer brushes and blusher brushes as well. So I wanted to show you the fan brush because I find it's really helpful. So I'm just gonna go in this color and I'm just gonna bring that off. And then I'm just gonna put my bronzer where I want, which is like right here. Right? See how quickly that goes? Like, I find that I quite like this, like doing that. And then I'll do it again. And then I'll do it for the other side. And again, it just goes by so easy because you see how it's like so thin. So it's just like really sort of like making that line for you. And for me, I like it sometimes because it's a lot less brush using for me and like banging my head and moving my hands and stuff. So, and then I'm just going to take another one and I'm just going to go like this. I was just watching a video today where some lady was saying that, you know, you shouldn't do that or whatever, put it like that. But honestly, you know, again, everything is different for different people. But if I don't do this, like I see like a big difference in my face, you know, like even just looking at my photos and stuff. And I'm just like, ooh, it's like really, my face is really bottom heavy. And I find that if I don't do that, it looks even more so, which I don't like. So I'm just going to put this back. Grab myself the Blooms palette from Playing in Makeup with Yolando. I really like her palettes, I'm sure you've noticed because I've been using them a lot. And I'm just going to go for something nice and neutral, so I'm just going for this color on the Blooms palette. And I'm just going to tap that in with this kind of brush, just fluffy, a little bit big. And then I'm just going to go along the tops of my cheeks, like right here. Put that in. It's not going to be anything spectacular, it's just very neutral. Like I said, I'm just going out really quickly. Just putting that right there. Try not to go past right here of my eye. For today, some days I do. I like to have that bouncy look in my cheeks, and I've got a lot of cheek. So it looks, you know, again, it's all, you know, all this stuff that they keep telling you. It's a lot of it, you know, there's theory and there's just things that just are in makeup. And then a lot of it is just trends and what's in now. And, you know, it might look good on a particular person, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it looks good on you, you know, like, you know, they're doing the bronzer, like the contour, like all the way up here now, and it's like, with, you know, look at the shape of my face. There is no way that is going to look good on me. And you know, for me to be able to do that and for it to look good, then I have to spend an extra half hour contouring the bottom of my face because my face is so bottom heavy. And then with everything being up here, right, because if I blush naturally, my blush is actually like down here, right, and my cheek area is down here. So me putting it up here is just not good for me, right? And then sometimes I like to put it on my cheeks because, you know, nice plump cheeks is just youthful looking. Like if you want that sculpted look, and that's another thing, it depends on what kind of look you're going for. So if you want that sculpted, you know, look, then, you know, that's the way to do it. But if you're just like doing an everyday look and you want to look nice and youthful and stuff like that, like if you look at my face right now, right? It gives a lot of structure to that, and it does lift up your face, which they say, but it also can make you look older, because as you get older, you lose that subcutaneous tissue when your face starts to get a little bit sunken in, and now it does that even more. So although your face is lifted, now because everything is so high, and then you've got this cut here, it's making this part sink in more, if that makes sense. And so you look, I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I'm going to decide I'm going to put it on my cheeks because I'm just going to have that kind of day today. So I'm just going to put it here. And also you see a lot of older women, like in Hollywood and stuff, when they do their makeup for film, you'll notice that the makeup artist actually puts color on the cheek because that, it just does. Like, look at, right? All of a sudden, it's not like the other one looked bad, and it did make me look, and gave me more cheekbones. But look at how much more like jovial and kind of just youngish my face looks just from putting the foundation on my cheeks. So the placement does make a difference, but all I'm saying is that, you don't have to do what other people are doing. If there's a particular look that you like, then just keep it that way if you like it, and then just try the different methods and see which one works for you. I'm not into this whole don't do this, don't do that, because you know what's going to happen 2 months from now? That trend is going to be gone, and then they're going to tell you something totally different. Like, for example, they're already now starting to say, oh, don't do the contour rep here and do it down here, right? And whereas for some people, doing it up there is always going to look good. So you know what? Then always do that. Do what works for you, right? So I'm going to put that back, and then I'm going to put on some mascara. This is the Princess Lash from Essence Beauty. I love this because it's really good, and it is really affordable. Like, in Canada, this mascara is $5.99. And if you know how expensive stuff is in Canada, I mean, the average mascara, the cheap ones are like $13, right? And everything else is more. So for $5.99 for this formula, and it's actually really good. So it's not about going back on quality for a good price. This is actually like a really nice quality mascara. So down to the base, and I just wiggle as best as I can, because with my hands I can only do so much, and the last few days have not been good. I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but for my hand it is. And I also take breaks between the filming because otherwise it will hurt. And then I just go this side because it's easier. I would like to find a lash curler that I could use, because I find that my lashes kind of go out straight. But unfortunately, I can't use a lash curler because you have to squeeze it. And that would be a lot of pain to have a curly lash, and I'm not going through that for curly lash because that's, having to apply pressure, and that would like really hurt. So I'm going to try and find some way to get my lashes to like curl. I know they have curling mascaras, but there's nothing out there that can, even the curly mascaras that can literally like make them really curly. A lash curler is basically the way that you do that. And then what I am going to do, again, because I'm just doing a simple look for today, I'm going to go in with the it's Too Faced Melted Chocolate. And this stuff I love this stuff. First of all, it's a nice color for me, and then also I love it because it smells like chocolate, and you can't beat that. You can't beat something that smells like chocolate. Just gotta put it between my hands here. So see how natural that color is on me? So it's just like the color of my lips almost, but just a little bit more, and with a little gloss on there. So this is a nice natural lip color, lip color for me to put on. And see? And that's it. That's all I'm doing today, but not so fond of this. Much better. I hope you guys are having a great day.